Right then, hello everyone and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship. We are here for round number 14 of the 2021 Formula 1 World Championship, which will see us taking to a brand new venue in Formula 1 for the first ever time. I can say welcome to the Lusail International Circuit here for the Qatar Grand Prix. Yes, Formula 1 is back, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the final stretch of races in the championship, the Middle East triple header, and we will begin by going to the Persian Gulf and the island nation of Qatar for the Qatar Grand Prix here at the Lusail International Circuit. My name is Miran in the commentary booth. As always, glad to be joining you again for another thrilling round of Formula 1, and the championship is looking properly exciting heading out of last round at Interlagos and now to Qatar. It is Alfred Klaus who leads the championship by 7 points from Enes Parachki, then Jesper Johansson 16 points behind Klaus as well. So it's been a pretty long while since we've had a Red Bull in the championship lead, and especially Alfred Klaus as well. He's really been on form ever since Spa this season. He's finished on the podium every single one of the last 5 races, so he is absolutely on fire, and you're currently witnessing the man on his flying lap around this track. And while he is on his flying lap around this track, I will take you through it. So, the Lusail International Circuit, just located outside of the city of Lusail, the second largest city in Qatar, just north of the capital city of Doha. The track was opened in 2004 and took a year to build. Costed a total of 58 million, and it hosted the Qatar Motorcycle Grand Prix in 2004. Back then it was hosted in the day, but in 2007 they would add permanent outdoor lighting for night races. The first MotoGP night race was held in 2008, and yeah, it's been running ever since 2004 and still runs today. Just now it runs under the name the Doha Motorcycle Grand Prix. There wasn't a lot of open wheel racing here. GP2 Asia came here in 2009, and that was about it for 11 years until Formula 1 came here following a renovation in 2021 for the first time, and then it would return for 2023 and onwards. I believe they did secure some form of 10-year deal to stay on the F1 calendar. I'm not too sure about that, but yeah, this track, though it is originally built for motorcycle racing, it is now the home of Formula 1 as well. You've also got the FIA World Endurance Championship planning to come here next year for the 1,812 kilometers of Qatar. But yeah, enough about that. The layout which we are running, the Grand Prix circuit, which was renovated this year, or I believe this is the older layout, because there's a slight difference between the two, because the track was recently renovated in 2023, but I'll just take the layout before that. It is 5.380 kilometers long, featuring 15 turns and a race lap record of a 1:23.1. And this track, as I've said, it is a motorcycle track, so a lot of the corners are very fast and very flowing as well, to try and challenge these, obviously the turning angles and try and accommodate for the MotoGP bikes. But yeah, this has proven to be a pretty decent track for Formula 1 as well. We recently had the Qatar Grand Prix almost a week ago in real life Formula 1, so yeah, and I think that was a pretty good race as well, especially the sprint race was very exciting indeed. So if that is anything to go by, then this should be pretty interesting as well. You're currently looking at the top 20 times, though. It is Alfred Klaus who is fastest, with your bottom 5 being Alexander Arnold, followed by Franco Gamba, Victor Olbum, Daniel Fraser, and Daniel Wallace. So it's a pretty bog standard bottom 5. I hate to say it, but it is. Franco Gamba again will definitely not be hoping to get knocked out in Q1 here. As he is still fighting his way to try and get some points. And he has obviously done that in these last 2 races of the season. And yeah, did score a pretty good P7, I think it was, at last round's Brazilian Grand Prix. So he'll be looking to keep that momentum going here today onto Qatar. So we'll just have to wait and see what is gonna happen. As I said, also, it is a new venue. It's the first ever time we come here in Formula 1 and the second ever time we come here in the ACOC. The only man who has experience around this track is Miran Evji, because he raced here when we came here for the first time in Super Formula. But apart from that, no one else has any experience around this track. And Evji, at the moment, is beating his teammate Daniel Wallace for the time being, as he sits in 13th, 7 positions up on his teammate. He is just behind Ferrari man Laban Zasnishkai, who is in 13th. Laban Zasnishkai, who's experienced a bit of a drop in form following the summer break, and well, the Belgian Grand Prix as well. He has been absolutely outshined by teammate Luca Farina in these last few rounds of the season, and Farina, well, determined to make the full-time roster for Ferrari next season as well, has been putting in an absolutely brilliant performance for the Scuderia. Obviously won at Hermanos Rodriguez to record Ferrari's first win in 2 years. So Luca Farina has been nothing short of incredible on the pace, and we'll see what he's going to get up to here at Qatar as well. We're currently looking at Eric Adelberg in 9th, stuck in a bit of traffic there. Behind him, there's the Mercedes. I'm not sure which one that is, but Adelberg will have a Mercedes chasing after him, and an Alfa Romeo who he is chasing after. So yeah, not the most ideal position for Eric Adelberg to be stuck in if he wants to set an improvement, but at the moment he is sitting comfortably in 9th. So I don't think improving is much of a priority to him. As here we go, gonna see a little bit of battle. That's Jesper Johansson. He's trying to get Eric Adelberg there, but the Swiss man, Formula 2 champion at the moment, does hold him off. So Jesper will have to wait behind for another lap until Adelberg either dives into the pit lane or he's able to brute force his way through on the Swiss driver. As it is once again another good showing from AlphaTauri here in Q1. Will Parrish sits in 4th. Brilliant stuff from the American. We go and now take a look at Franco Gamba in the Alpine. He's just making his way around turn number 16, the right-hander. Here he comes then to finish up his lap, and let's see if Franco Gamba will be able to get himself out of the elimination zone with this one, as he's gonna go across the line, and there it is for Franco Gamba, up into 14th. And he now, for the time being, is through into Q2 with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. That's a pretty big relief for Alpine, as both of their drivers at the moment will make it onto the second stage of qualifying if things do finish like this. Gambo just got up to 14th, and then we see Wojtek Kulasek in 9th as well. So not bad at all for Wojtek Kulasek, as Daniel Wallace sets an improvement. It's not been a good session for Daniel Wallace so far. He's been knocking in those improvements, but something just seems wrong with the car. The pace just isn't there for the young Chinese driver. And Yeah, at the moment it seems to be Miran Evji, who also is in the elimination zone, ahead of him at the moment. And Evji and Zasnishkai there, actually on the exact same time, but Zasnishkai gets it by the 10th of thousandths of a second. It's that close between the two. So Luca Farina's now going to go across the line. The man in second goes fastest for Ferrari. Good stuff from Luca Farina. And he gets himself out of Alfred Klaus. And again, Farina on fire in these last 5 races. And he's looking to continue this incredible run of form that he has, as he now goes fastest in Q1. Good stuff from Luca Farina. So we've got 15 seconds left on the clock, and you can see a lot of guys near the elimination zone are at the moment in the pit lane. I'm looking especially at people like Lama Zasnishka and Franco Gamba. As Daniel Wale comes in, he is out. And Daniel Fraser and Alexander Arnold are in as well. Miran Evji could knock the Ferrari man out of Q1 here, as he's going to go across the line. Will he be able to manage an improvement? The answer is yes, as he goes all the way up into 8. What a lap from Miran Evji, but that has knocked out Laban Zasnishkai from Q1 here at Lusail. That is a very, very big shock for Ferrari, as one of their drivers will be starting 16th at best here at Qatar. And that's certainly not going to be a good look for Laban Zasnishkai, as Dennis Groff's now going to go across the line. Can he make it a Rebel 1-2? He does improve, but isn't able to do that at the moment. Alfred Klauston is on a lap there as well. We're going to look at Wojtek Kulasek instead, who's just making his way around turn number 15. And he's now going to make his way round the right of the 16th and final corner. Let's see if the Czech man will be able to improve as he goes across the line. And Kulasek does not improve, but he is safely through into Q2. Victor Album goes across the line, does not improve. And unfortunately, once again in this season, the Haas man is out. FG rounding the final corner. Is he going to get another lap in? No, he comes into the pit lane. Lewis McIntyre, who improved up to 5th on his previous lap, is going to finish up this one as he goes across the line. It's no improvement for Lewis McIntyre, but it's still P5 ahead of his teammate Josef Fredrik Schutt, who's qualified, or well, not qualified, but he has finished a lowly 13th. There is Q1 over with then, as Luca Farina is your fastest man in the Ferrari, and your bottom 5 is Lavas Zasnishkai, followed by Alexander Arnold, Daniel Fraser, Victor Album, and Daniel Wale. Q1 over with then. Big talking point, Laban Zasnishkai out of Q1 here at Qatar. And yeah, it's not a good look, as I said, for Ferrari, having Laban Zasnishkai, who is fighting Josef Fredrik Schutter in the championship for 5th. Having him knocked out, starting all the way down in 16th today. So he's going to have a lot to do in the race if he wants a chance at competing with the McLarens today. And Zasnishkai, who just hasn't really been on that start of season form that he had, it's just kind of lost. He's just kind of lost it in these last 5 races. So it's not looking good for Laban Zasnishkai, and he'll definitely hope that the mid-season pace that he had will come back to him. Alexander Arnold also fails to make Q2, along with Daniel Wale. It's a pretty disappointing performance from Daniel Wale here today. It was just not his day in qualifying. So we'll see if he's going to be able to manage anything in the race. And we're now here for Q2. Second stage of qualifying just getting underway. 10 minutes on the clock, and it is Fernando Tost in the Aston Martin, who is the first man out. Fernando Tost, very interesting career he certainly has, now entering his third season of Formula 1. Started out his ACOC career all the way back in the inaugural season in 2017, driving in Formula E. He finished 7th in the championship with 1 win that season, already demonstrating his talent back then in a field with the likes of Kai Chereshnia and Will Parrish, and also Jafari Blackwood as well. So by no means was it a poor grid. Tost actually finished equal on points with the man who was his former teammate this season, Kai Chereshnia. So both two Polish drivers were already destined for greatness back then. Then in the following season, in 2018, Fernando Tost earned a promotion to Formula 2 with Trident, partnering Eduardo Silva, and it was a pretty solid debut season for him as well, scoring a bunch of points over the 11 race season with a best finish of a 2nd place at the British Grand Prix. And I do remember back to that British Grand Prix 2018, he led for the majority of that race, and I believe he started on pole position as well, but, or no, it might have been his teammate, but I do remember Tost was leading the majority of that race, and then at the end it was Rosetta Martinez who overtook him on the final few laps to take the race win. So yeah, Tost painfully had his first Formula 2 win slipped away, but he did have a very good debut season in Formula 2, and was gearing up for a 2nd season in 2019, having been confirmed as a reserve driver for Mercedes. But obviously 2019 was the season where Alexander Arnold announced his departure from Mercedes, and Mercedes, with a gap to fill, didn't actually appoint Fernando Tost. They appointed Enis Parachi from McLaren, and then made an agreement with McLaren to let them sign Fernando Tost, and well, the rest is history. It was a super debut season from Tost. He outscored Franco Gamba at McLaren, despite having not done the first 2 races of the Formula 1 season. Continued with McLaren in 2020, that time alongside Lewis McIntyre. Wasn't able to meet the expectations there, and now he's with Aston Martin, and well, yeah, it's safe to say he's been the better of both of his teammates this season. So overall, it's not been that bad of a season for Fernando Tost. He's been scraping along the points, and we'll see how these last 3 rounds are going to play out for the Polish driver. As he has just said at his lap time as well, it's a 1:30.118 for the now lonely Polish driver on the field. It's a bit crazy to think. I think, was it 2 seasons ago? We used to have, no, even a season ago, we used to have 3 Polish drivers on the grid, and now it's down to 1 pole. As Milan Evji now goes across the line, he certainly isn't lonely with the amount of countrymen that he has in the field. As he's up into 5th. Luca Farina has gone fast, as Jesper Johansson can't go faster than the Italian. La Bestia, as he was nicknamed during his Formula 2 days. Luca Farina sits on top of the timing sheets as Enis Parachi slots in behind his teammate. Eric Alberg across the line. There's Alfred Klaus behind the 2 Mercedes in 4th. Alfred Klaus is at the moment. Obviously, these positions won't really matter for the likes of Mercedes and Red Bull. They'll just want to get a lap on the board and try and gather as much data, I suppose, for Q3 as possible. As the top 15 times are on the board then, it's Luca Farina who's fastest once again, and your bottom 5 is Wojtek Kulasek, followed by Miran Evji, Franco Gamba, Tomas Mandic, and Alex Broster. We were talking about Fernando Tost, and I have to say, what a lap he's put out as well in 7th. At the moment, he's beating both McLarens of Josef Frederik Schuto and Lewis McIntyre, so not bad at all from Fernando Tost. Wojtek Kulasek will be looking to get one of the Alpines into Q3 today, though, as he is now heading through Sector 3, and we'll see if Wojtek Kulasek will be able to do anything as he now rounds the penultimate corner and heads into the final corner. Alex Broster says an improvement going up into 14th. We'll see if the Williams man will be able to get up there as well, as Lewis McIntyre briefly improved, but Josef Frederik Schuto went ahead of his teammates. Kulasek across the line then does not improve, and the man from the Czech Republic stays in P11 for the time being. So the Alpine man can't quite find the top 10. He stays in 11th. Alfred Klaus stays in 4th as well. I think he did maybe get an improvement there. I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, improvement or not, he hasn't moved up or down any positions. And we'll see how this is going to play out then. It's Mercedes, Mercedes, Red Bull, Red Bull, and then the Ferrari of Luca Farina, who leads the two big teams in this championship fight. And obviously heading into Qatar, we should talk about the constructors fight as well, because it is looking very, very close, ladies and gentlemen, here at Losail. It's Mercedes leading Red Bull by only 9 points in the championship now. So there's a 9-point difference between Mercedes and Red Bull here at Qatar. So both teams, it will be absolutely imperative to finish ahead of each other here today, because that could potentially guarantee them the lead of the Constructor Championships. Wojtek Kulasek goes across the line. P7, what a lap from Wojtek Kulasek, and that surely should get him into Q3. As that did knock Erik Adelberg briefly into the elimination zone, but Adelberg goes across the line and did go up into 10th, and that's now locked Lewis McIntyre down into the bottom 5. So that's not good for the McLaren man, Lewis McIntyre. And we'll have to see if he's going to be able to join his teammate Josef Frederik Schuto back in the top 10. His teammate Schuto actually behind him on track at the moment. So I don't know if maybe McLaren released 2 of their cars at the same time. Maybe a bit of a poor move, but I don't know what they were really thinking with that. As McIntyre rounds the long and winding turn 12, 13 and 14 complex. Very reminiscent of Istanbul Park's turn number 8. Now through turn 15. And then into the final corner, turn number 16. He will go. And let's see what McIntyre is going to do. Will he be able to improve on this lap as he goes across the line? The answer is no for Lewis McIntyre. And the Brit in the McLaren will stay in 11th for the time being, as Dennis Groff gets an improvement but doesn't move up or down any positions. Why would he move down? Sorry. Well, he doesn't move up any positions, but Franco Gamba does, and he moves into the top 10. And now that's more like it for Franco Gamba, getting himself ahead of his teammate by 0.02 of a second. Franco Gamba into 8th, and that's both Alpines into Q3. It's not both McLarens into the bottom 5 now. And the checkered flag is out, and now we'll have to wait and see how this Q3 or the end of this Q2 session will play out. Who's going to make it and who is going to be knocked out? As we're waiting for 12 cars across the line now, Tomas Mandic is the first man out. Or not the first man out. Well, now he is the first man out as he comes into the pit lane. So Mandic will be starting 15th here at Qatar. Fernando tosses next across the line. He's in 10th at the moment, but can he get himself safely through it this lap? He doesn't improve, so he's just going to have to hope no one in the bottom 5 gets an improvement. Will Parrish next across the line. Can't improve from 6th. Alex Broster, can he get himself into the top 10? No, he cannot, and Broster will stay 12th. McIntyre, it's only out of his teammate. Lewis McIntyre is out. Both McLarens are out of Q2 here at Lusail, and I think it is going to be a double Alpine Q3 appearance for, I think, the first time this season. And I think that is it, but Alpine will be overjoyed with that. Franco Gamba and Wojtek Kulasek take a bow. What a qualifying session it's been for them. And now they will enjoy starting inside the top 10 guaranteed as they go through to Q3. And Fernando tossed. Just going around the final corners. We're just waiting for him to go across the line. Apparently we're not, as Q2 is now over. Luca Farina, once again your fastest man, and you're knocked out are Lewis McIntyre, followed by Josef Fredrik Schuto, Alex Broster, Miran FG, and Thomas Mandic. And that is it then for Q2. And again, big talking point, both McLarens out. P11 and P12, I think the Woking outfit will be frustrated with the fact that they haven't been able to make it into Q3. So it's going to be a pretty bitter feeling for the boys in Papaya, but it is the boys in blue who will be very, very happy. And I'm not talking about Williams, I'm talking about Alpine, who have had both of their drivers make it into Q3, as Franco Gamba led Wojtek Kulasek P8 and P9. So we'll see what Alpine will be able to do here today. Both Alpha Tauris made it through as well. So again, another brilliant performance from the Alpha Tauris. We'll just see then as the fight for pole will commence. Luca Farina has been your fastest man in both Q1 and Q2. Is that a message heading into Q3? Or will we finally see the big boys come out to play? Will we finally get to see the drivers who are properly in this championship fight finally shine? So we're getting ready for Q3, and Enis Parachki, the Macedonian himself, not wasting any time at all, getting ready to get out there and try and grab that coveted pole position for the first ever Qatar Grand Prix. Just behind him there, we saw briefly in camera his teammate Jesper Johansson. So both Mercedes out early. They want to try and get as much running as possible. And Parachki and Johansson, who I feel have been absolutely inseparable this season, now have had one more driver added into the equation, namely Alfred Klaus. So we'll just have to wait and see. Will the two Mercedes try and work together to try and counteract Red Bull, to try and counteract Alfred Klaus? Or will it be a clash of egos at Mercedes, as Parachki and Johansson will still try and finish ahead of each other? We'll just have to see, as there's going to be very, very interesting storylines written in these last 3 rounds of the championship. But here we are then for a lap of the Lusail International Circuit with Enis Parachki as we head down into turn number 1. Long and open right-hander. Then as you try and set yourself up for this exit, immediately get flung into turn number 2. 5th gear there. And then immediately into another right-hander of turn number 3. Flat out as you make your way into the first hard braking zone of this track. Turn 4. Riding the curb there. You set yourself up immediately for turn number 5 as well. Identical corner to turn number 4 into this hairpin. Turn number 6, if you're brave enough, you can try a very, very good dive bomb into that corner as you make your way through turn 7. Very, very circular corner. As then you head through this turn 8 and the 9 chicane. Very reminiscent of Bahrain's little chicane complex, just minus the elevation. Obviously, this track is just built in a desert, so there's not a lot of elevation at this track. As you now head through turn 12, 13, and 14. As I said, very, very reminiscent of Turkey turn 8, and especially, I think that one corner complex at Kota as well, just by how many apexes there are, and it's flat out as well. Through turn 14, and then 15, and heading into the final corner, turn number 16, as you hug that inside line, and then try and set yourself up for the best exit possible, and then it's just a sprint across the line for a lap of the Losail International Circuit. As we're going to see what the time is going to be for Enes Paraschke. It's a 1:29.550. That's the benchmark time to be for everyone else. But Jesper Johansson cannot do it. He cannot go ahead of his teammate Enes Paraschke, the Super Swede. Will unfortunately have to stay behind his teammate at the moment. Wojtek Kulasek slots in behind the two Mercedes. He's only a 10th off Jesper Johansson, so not bad at all from Wojtek Kulasek. We'll see how the two Red Bulls are going to respond to this, though. Erik Adelberg goes across the line in the Alpha Tauri. When we mentioned Red Bull, this is maybe not what we meant, but yeah, it's not bad at all. Also, I said Kulasek was a 10th off. I misread that. I didn't see that. I said 130, so he's a second and a 10th off. Dennis Graf, though, goes across the line, and he is 2/10 off Jesper Johansson. So, yeah. Graf can't quite get himself up there with the two Mercedes. Franco Gabba, though, gets himself ahead of his teammate Wojtek Kulasek. Both Alpines in the 130s. It's not looking too good for them. Luca Farina slots in between the two. So Farina, it's a pretty scruffy first lap, I guess, compared to his Q1 and Q2 outings. Now, obviously, all the big teams will be laying down their proper pace. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see as Paraschke extends his advantage at the top of the field. So he stays in P1, but we're yet to see where Alfred Klaus is going to slot in. Where is Alfred Klaus? There he is, and he splits the two Mercedes apart. It's not enough for the pole position for Alfred Klaus just yet. He's 0.05 of a second off and bags himself a provisional front row start. Wojtek Kulasek also made his way up into 6th, so that's not bad at all from Wojtek Kulasek. Erik Adelberg has got himself ahead of Dennis Graf with that lap time. So, yeah, not bad at all from Erik Adelberg. Looking at Luca Farina now, down in 8th. Let's see if Farina is going to be able to muster up an improvement here. He does, but he still stays in 7th, Luca Farina. And while it is still decent points on the board, the Italian will definitely be hoping for more. Jesper Johansson went across the line. He improved, but he wasn't able to go up to the third. What about Alfred Klaus? Can he improve? No is the answer. As you got a few guys in the pit lane then. Enes Paraschke is in the pits as Will Parrish goes up with the 6th. Great lap from Will Parrish, and it's Alpha Tauri P4 and P6. But again then, with a minute to go, it's Enes Paraschke and Dennis Graf in the pit lane. So two of those guys. So Dennis Graf will not be able to take pole position, and Paraschke, if he loses it, will not be able to defend his pole. And this might be good news for Alfred Klaus and Jesper Johansson, the two Swedes who will be looking to try and steal that pole position away from Enes Paraschke. Jesper Johansson will be hoping to finish ahead of Alfred Klaus as well to claw his way back up. You're going to see Luca Farina across the line now. The man in the Ferrari. Where can he go? He goes up one position ahead of his fellow countryman Franco Gamba. And it is eighth for Luca Farina at the moment. Going to see Jesper Johansson now. Here is... this is going to need to be it for Jesper Johansson as he goes across the line. Will it be an improvement for Jesper Johansson? Will this be it for him? Oh, and he just improves 100th of Alfred Klaus. Klaus, though, is going to go across the line. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it for pole. No! It's not the pole for Alfred Klaus here at Qatar. And he will be P2 at best. I think Jesper Johansson got another lap in, but the question is if he's actually going to finish up that lap. So we'll just have to wait and see what he is going to do. And the Parashki pole is not looking too unrealistic now here in qualifying as we're in for 6 cars to go across the line. Make that 5 now as we're just awaiting Franco Gamba, who rounds the final corner. Let's see if the Italian will be able to get up there with his teammate Wojtek Kulasek with this lap as he goes across the line. And what is it going to be for Franco Gamba then? It's no improvement for Franco Gamba, but still a P9. He cannot complain about that at all. Luca Farina, the other Italian, is next across the line. Let's see if Farina will be able to improve on this lap as he is going to go across the line. What's it going to be for Luca Farina? No improvement for Farina either. Fernando Tost is next as he makes his way around turn 16. The man who's last in the session, P10. Can he lift himself out of that? Maybe trying to at least close down that gap to Franco Gamba. We'll see as he goes across the line. The answer is no for Fernando Tost. Just having 2 cars left across the line. Alfred Klaus peels into the pits. And I think the final man should be Jesper Johansson, unless he didn't improve. I think Johansson didn't improve. Will Parrish comes in. There's Jesper Johansson. He's finished. So he is not going to take the pole position. And we're just going to have to wait for the confirmation to tick down. And there it is then, on pole position for the first ever Qatar Grand Prix. Enis Parachki is on pole here at Losail. And again, the qualifying ace himself, Enis Parashki, shines. This time at a brand new venue as well, looking determined to take down Alfred Klaus for that championship lead. So we'll see what he is going to do. But yeah, a dominant Q3 outing from Enis Parashki, was basically untouchable today. But yeah, the top 3 in the championship is in... what was I going to say? The top 3 in the championship take the top 3 spots in qualifying, with the man 11th in the championship taking 4th place. So yeah, a great qualifying from Eric Adelberg. Props to him and AlphaTauri as a whole. What a day it was for them. P4 and P6, but we'll just have to see if they will be able to convert it in the race. And we'll have to see then, Enis Parachki, this being the Macedonians, well, I believe only 3rd pole this season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is Parachki's 3rd only pole this season. And seeing his race record, that certainly is something. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what Parashi is going to do starting on pole. As we're now ready then for the race. Ready for lights out for the first ever Qatar Grand Prix. But before we do that, it's time to go through the qualifying grid for one final time before we get racing at the Lusail International Circuit. And it is Enis Parachi, the Macedonian, starts on pole position here today. And accompanying him on the front row, it's his championship rival. It's the man in the Red Bull, Alfred Klaus, who will start in second place. In third, it is Jesper Johansson. As I said previously, the top three in the championship, all occupying the top three spots here in qualifying, with Erik Adelberg, the Alpha Tauri, starting in fourth. What a qualifying for him, as it is Dennis Graf starting P5. Will Parrish is 6th, with Wojtek Kulasek in P7. Luca Farina is in 8th, with his fellow countryman Franco Gamba behind him in 9th. And then it is Fernando Tost rounding out the top 10. It's then the two McLarens who narrowly missed out on Q3. Lewis McIntyre ahead of Josef Fredrik Schuto, with Alex Broster in 13th. Miran Evji will be 14th, with Tomas Mandic starting P15. P16 is Laban Zasnishkai, lowly qualifying position for him. We'll see what he's going to be able to do today, as Alexander Arnold is ahead or behind him in 17th. Then it's the two Hasses of Daniel Fraser and Victor Albom, with the Alfa Romeo of Daniel Waller rounding out the grid. Right then, let's get racing for the first ever Qatar Grand Prix. 32 laps around the Lusail International Circuit is about to commence, as it's Enis Parachi on pole position, and we're underway here at Lusail. Good getaway for Alfred Klaus, and he immediately might start to challenge Enis Parachi for the race lead, as yes, they're going to be side by side and heading down into turn number 1. It's Klaus on the inside line who's going to try to get the Mercedes driver, and he does it immediately to turn number 1. It's Alfred Klaus who leads the Qatar Grand Prix, with Erik Adelberg in second. What a getaway from Erik Adelberg from 4th into P2. He's overtaken both Mercedes cars in the span of 2 corners. They've lost out big time here today, and advantage suddenly swings in favor of Alfred Klaus and Red Bull at the opening corners here in Lusail, as we're seeing Franco Gamba and Lewis McIntyre go side by side. Then it's McIntyre on the inside line heading out of turn number 6 and into turn 7. It's McIntyre trying to swing it around the outside lines. They go wheel to wheel. Now heading into the chicane as well. Who is going to get this one? As heading out there, it's McIntyre on the curb, using all the track available to him as Gamba tries to push him wide. Now then heading through turn number 11 into turn 12. Here's Adelberg trying to go for the race lead. Erik Adelberg is certainly looking frisky today, trying to challenge his Red Bull senior to try and take the lead of the race. That is certainly something from Erik Adelberg, as a result he's lost a bit of time, and this could see Enis Parachi on his door knocking as we now head down the start-finish straight. No DRS yet, obviously, as we approach lap 2. Parachi's going to line up the Swiss man. Johansson's going to line up Will Parrish as well into turn number 1. Parachi's there on the inside line, as I think there's been contact. Parrish is round. Johansson is out as well. Jesper Johansson is out of the Qatar Grand Prix. What's happened there? It's another pointless finish. 3 races in a row for Jesper Johansson, and they've banged wheels. They made contact. What has happened there? Oh no, Jesper Johansson. Oh no, that is not how you do it. And I think he's understeered into the American Will Parrish, and this is just not looking good for Jesper Johansson. And yeah, I can't blame that on Will Parrish. I can't. That is the fault of Johansson. Again, that is, I mean, it's understeer. I don't think he could have. Obviously, he wasn't really in control of his car, but it is still his fault. But that is a DNF for Jesper Johansson. His first officially of the season, but it's going to be his 3rd race where Johansson will not be scoring points, and this again will absolutely damage his championship hopes. Will Parrish will score 0 points here at Qatar. Same with Jesper Johansson, and this will blow the championship wide open, not only in the drivers but in the constructors as well, because this now gives a huge advantage to Red Bull. As here's Alexander Arnold trying to line up a move on Miranevci. Both former big name drivers from Mercedes and Alfa Romeo now fighting each other, representing their customer teams, Williams and Alfa Romeo. How the times do change. We're now looking at Wojtek Kulasek and Luca Farina, who slipped up into 4th and 5th. We'll see then how this is going to play out. Here's Lewis McIntyre and Josef Schuto now in 9th and 8th. McIntyre trying to line up a move on Josef Schuto, but it doesn't quite work yet for McIntyre. And he's going to have to stay behind. Franco Gamba, who's now been promoted to 10th, is lurking behind these two McLarens as well. We'll see if he is going to be able to do anything there. As we now move up to the championship fight, the one for the race lead. Parachki chasing down Alfred Klaus, and if Parachki were to get the race win here today, he would be equal with Klaus in the championship. So Ennis will be chasing down a race win today. Alfred will be hoping to double his championship lead here today. So we'll see how this is going to play out then. As we're now looking at Luca Farina. He is chasing down Eric Adelberg for P3. As here's Alexander Arnold and Miran Evji side by side. Through sector 3 they go. Arnold runs wide. Oh, gets a slide as well. And that's going to allow Daniel Waller to slip through. Scary, scary moment for Alexander Arnold. And it's Daniel Waller who goes up into 15. So not bad from Daniel Waller. He's gone up 5 positions from the start. Here's Luca Farina though. He's going to line up a move on Eric Adelberg for the podium. Farina on the inside line. They go side by side. As they head into turn number 2, Adelberg runs wide, and it is Luca Farina up into 3rd. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from the Italian. He shines again in situations like these as La Bestia heads up into 3rd and on course for his 2nd podium of the season. Mind you, he's only driven, this is his 6th race for Ferrari in the season. As we're now looking at Wojtek Kulasek, who could be the next man to try and line up Eric Adelberg here, as Kulasek himself is holding off Dennis Graf for P5. So Kulasek will be eagerly hoping to get past the Red Bull sister car of Eric Adelberg as soon as possible. As they head out of turn number 10. And Dennis Graf as well will be looking to score points for Red Bull, big points as well, along with the team with Alfa Klaus to get past Mercedes now that Jesper Johansson is out of the equation. And, well, Jesper Johansson, I have to say, I think this has been his worst career form ever. He's just come absolutely crashing down. And it's safe to say, I unfortunately think that might just be the championship over for Jesper Johansson. But the one man whose championship isn't over is Enes Parachki as they head into turn number 1, wheel to wheel. Then Parachki and Klaus, the two now championship protagonists, go wheel to wheel, and it is Enes Parachki who reclaims the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix as both Dennis Graf and Wojtek Kulasek slip past Eric Adelberg. But that is Enes Parachki who retakes the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. So they trade hands once again, and now this gives the advantage to Enes Parachki as he is now equal on points in the championship. As you check the live standings, both Parachki and Klaus on 217 points. And this is going to get pretty heated. So we'll see what is going to happen here now. As Dennis Graf now has shuffled up to 5th. He'll still be wanting to chase down Wojtek Kulasek and try and get up into 4th. they head through Sector 3, it's about 7/10 of a second separating the two. So Dennis Stroff might actually be losing time on Wojtek Kulasek here. And that is not good for Kulasek at all. So we round the final corners. Lewis McIntyre was chasing him down. Dennis Groff has actually been able to line up a move on Wojtek Kulasek somehow. As we head into turn number 1, Groff gets it done before the corner. I think he did that with the help of the DRS. As here's McIntyre now fighting it away with Fernando Tost. Tost runs wide though, and that's going to give McIntyre the position. And up into 7th goes the Brit. As here's Franco Gamba now fighting it away with Josef Frederik Schuto. And it's gonna be Franco Gamba who gets up into 9th. Good stuff from him, but it's not quite over yet as Gamba's there on the inside line trying to, Schuto's there on the inside line trying to get Gamba. But, yeah, he will stay behind. Looking a bit further down, here's Tomas Mandic. He's gonna try and fight his former Ferrari teammate Lavas Nishkai. But isn't able to do that just yet. Runs a bit wide. Couldn't allow Miran Auto to get him to the play here. You can see how close this midfield pack is as well. So, yeah, pretty exciting midfield battles going on. As we're now looking at Franco Gamba. Gamba 5/10 off Fernando Tost. We'll see if he could get 8th or if Josef Frederik Schuto is gonna try and stress him out a bit here. We just have to wait and see what's gonna happen. But at the moment, it is a 6/10 gap between him and Fernando Tost. So we'll just be looking to try and get him on the straight here. As Tost himself does have a pretty large gap to McIntyre in 7th. They head down the start-finish straight into turn 1 they go, and I think Tost ran wide there. That has allowed Franco Gamba to catch up, but didn't try a move. In fact, it was Josef Frederik Schuto who seemed to be trying the moves on the Italian. So I don't know what exactly happened there with Franco Gamba, but he wasn't quite able to do anything there. As we're now looking at Lewis McIntyre. Oh, I think that was maybe either a bit of a lockup or just running a tiny bit wide. Looked to be a bit of a lockup for Lewis McIntyre, and that's gonna cost him trying to chase down Eric Adelberg for 6th. That's not good at all for Lewis McIntyre. Just have to try and recuperate the time that he lost through the rest of the lap. Let's see if he is going to be able to do that now then, as he's going to have a nice helping a slipstream down this little straightaway, and then through sector 3. He's going to have to try and hope to get it with the cornering advantage he has in that McLaren. You see how much he closes in, especially now through these final couple of corners, and with the DRS as well, heading down the start-finish straight. He could try and line up a move for 6th now. As we head down the start-finish straight, the DRS flap open for Lewis McIntyre. Is he going to try anything into turn number 1? He's going to switch to the inside line. Lewis McIntyre's the two go wheel to wheel now. Side by side for 6th place they go, and it is Adelberg who runs wide into turn number 1, and it is Lewis McIntyre who goes up into P6 as there's an accident at the back. That's Alex Broster, and Broster's gone off into the gravel, and he is out of the Qatar Grand Prix. What's happened to Alex Broster? And it's a very it is something unlike Alex Broster, and he gets off the track there, and it's probably very slippery as well off the track. There's not a lot of grip, and the car just goes. I don't know if it was shoved wide. I don't think he was shoved wide by the Ferrari there, but that's very, very, very unfortunate for Alex Broster. Lost control of the car. I don't think he was expecting it either, and just wasn't able to keep it under control and got beached in the gravel. So that's a bit of a shame for him, and that sees him becoming the 3rd DNFer of the Qatar Grand Prix. As we're now looking at Alexander Arnold and Daniel Wale fighting it away, and it's going to be Arnold who re-overtakes Daniel Wale for P14. So not bad from Alexander Arnold. Go a bit further up the field then, Luca Farina, who unsurprisingly, hasn't kept up with the top two. Could now be facing pressure from Dennis Groff, who will be looking to make it a double Red Bull podium here today. And Dennis Groff, not bad on the pace at all today. So, yeah, he is not doing bad. And let's see if he's going to be able to do anything here now. As Dennis practices at the fast lap of the race. Heading on to lap 9. Here comes Dennis Groff then. And he gets it down before the corner even, Dennis Groff. And up into the podium goes the German. So good stuff for him and this. And now he is looking to end this 3-race podium drought he has been having. So, yeah, good stuff then from Dennis Groff, the 2017 World Champion. Go a bit further down the field. Here is Alexander Arnold chasing down Thomas Mandic for 13th. Arnold's got Daniel Waller behind. Very racy Daniel Waller, in fact. We'll see then Arnold now, as he is the lone Williams. We'll see if he's going to be able to do anything in this race as we go a bit further up the field. Fernando Toss is trying to line up something on Eric Adelberg. Adelberg has been dropping like a stone this race. What's happened with the pace of Eric Adelberg? I don't know what, but the pace just... he's completely dropped off. He was P2 at one point in this race. Even tried a move on Alfred Klaus, but... yeah, now it's just completely vanished for Eric Adelberg, and he could be under pressure from the Aston Martin of Fernando Toss, who now has the DRS. Will he be able to line up and moving to turn number 1? It's a long DRS straight. Toss tries it to the inside, but he pulled out way too late there and wasn't ever able to try a move. Here though is Alexander Arnold showing how you try a move on an Aston Martin, as he's gonna go round the outside through turn 2 on Thomas Mandic. They're going to keep it wheel to wheel through turn 3 now, heading down the road into turn number 4. Who's going to be last on the brakes then? Heading into turn 4. Arnold there on the inside line tries to muscle his way past. They're absolutely inseparable in this battle for 13th as we head into the hairpin. And it is Alexander Arnold getting it done. Good stuff from the German, proving he still got it in terms of one-on-one combat. And he goes up into 13th. As here is Fernando Toss. We're going to look at him again. Wasn't quite able to get Eric Adelberg on the previous lap. We'll see if now will be the chance for Adelberg to try and properly do something here. So they will now round the final corner. Toss is going to try and get the best possible exit and try and pair that with the DRS as well. It's a long start finish straight. Very, very, very long one. So the DRS has an increased effect as you head down the start finish straight. Is Toss going to try anything? Once again, he goes for the late lunge on the inside line. Adelberg runs wide though into turn number 1, and heading out of turn 1, it's going to be Fernando Tost who moves through into 7th position. So Fernando Tost applying pressure brilliantly on Eric Adelberg, who's unfortunately just being swallowed up by the field at the moment. This is not good for Eric Adelberg, not at all. Here's Daniel Waller getting very close to the back of Thomas Mandic. Could look to drop the Croatian another position. We'll see if he is going to be able to do that then, Daniel Waller. They head through turn number 9 and into turn 10. Waller will try and wait, most likely down the start-finish straight, to try and line something up. We'll see if he is going to be able to do anything then. So they head through turn 14 now, then into turn number 15. Heading down the start-finish straight now. Franco Gamba is going to try and get Adelberg now. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's got a very good run on the AlphaTauri. Heading into turn number 1 now. They're going to be side by side. And is he going to be able to get it done? Heading out of the first corner as well? The answer is yes, as Gamba shuffles up into 8th. And Josef Fredrik Schutter was trying it as well there to try and get Erik Adelberg, but wasn't quite able to do it. And that's now backed him into Lama Zasnishkai behind, as Zasnishkai could look to do something here to try and get past Josef Fredrik Schutter, the 2 former teammates, obviously. Now driving for 2 completely different teams. But yeah, back in 2018, they were teammates at Williams. As there's Adelberg running wide. Schutter wasn't quite able to get there in time to try and go up and alongside Erik Adelberg. But the pressure is really getting to him. I don't know what's going on with Erik Adelberg. I don't know what isn't there for the young Swiss driver. But, well, certainly it is the pace. But what's causing it is the issue, because he's making mistakes left and right, going wide. And he just loses so much time throughout the lap. He's getting overtaken by absolutely everyone. That's just not good at all for Erik Adelberg, who could have been in contention for the podium today if he just was on that pace he had in the opening laps of the race. And we're going to see he's going to come under pressure again now, as Josef Fredrik Schutter will have the DRS heading down the start-finish straight. As they fly past the start-finish line, Schutter into turn number 1, doesn't try anything yet, tries to spot the opening, can't quite do it. So Josef Fredrik Schutter will have to stay behind for the time being. I thought he would be able to get that done, as here's Thomas Mandic, who's actually re-overtaken Alexander Arnold. That's a bit of a surprise. I thought Mandic was looking to get pressured by Daniel Wala behind there, but seems like he's kicked it into gear a bit, and has now gone up into P13 once again. So good stuff from Thomas Mandic. Josef Fredrik Schutter then will try and get himself up into 9th. This is not good for Schutter, though. He can't just wait too long, because you can see there's Miran FG behind in 12th, who's joining this little pack. And Adelberg is holding him up quite a bit. There's already a 2.2 second gap to Franco Gamba in 8th. So, yeah, Schutter will have to get past Adelberg as soon as possible. So here's Wojtek Kulasek. He's going to go to Luca Farina then, onto 4th, as the 2 go side by side now. Kulasek is there on the inside line. They will be wheel to wheel as he gets the better exit on the outside line, and through turn 2, Wojtek Kulasek goes up into 4th. Great stuff from the Czech driver. What a performance he's putting in. And that is going to be P4 for him, as here's Alexander Arnold re-overtaking Thomas Mandic in a very back and forth battle, as Arnold now takes back his position from the Croatian Thomas Mandic, and will go up into 13th, and we'll see what Thomas Mandic will have to respond with here. Here is Josef Fredrik Schutter then. The Slovakian will definitely be hoping to try and get this P9, because you can see he's attracting quite a crowd behind him. And by a crowd, I mean a Ferrari driver and a former Ferrari driver behind him. So we'll see how this is going to play out. And will this finally be the moment to strike for Josef Fredrik Schutter, heading down into turn number 1? The answer is no. Schutter just isn't able to get close enough. Is he trying to pressure Erik Adelberg into making a mistake here? Not sure. But, yeah. He's at least staying patient behind him at the moment. Lamazasnishkai hasn't really been able to find his way past the McLaren driver either. So, yeah. Obviously, both Shuto and Zasnishkai will be hoping for points here today, and especially to finish ahead of each other, since they are tied on points. Shuto at the moment would get him by 1 point, as he is now in P10. So Zasnishkai will definitely be hoping to get Josef Fredrik Schutter and at least finish ahead of him, because that would mean that he will be ahead in the battle for 5th in the championship. McIntyre then, who's been pretty solid on the pace as we approach the halfway mark of this race, is now chasing down Luca Farina, and maybe tire wear seems to be an issue here at Qatar, because drivers seem to drop off the pace pretty significantly here. At one point they're very good on pace, and at the other they're falling like a stone, and now it seems to be happening to Luca Farina, as he is now in danger of losing 5th place to Lewis McIntyre. We'll see how that is gonna play out then. So now looking at McIntyre heading through turn 7, still in pursuit of Luca Farina. It's a very Ferrari versus McLaren battle today, with Zasnishka and Shuto fighting for the points paying positions, and then we have McIntyre and Farina fighting for the bigger points here today. So both teams are going all out, as if this result would stand, they would only be 1 point separated from each other. Or, well, no, if the result stands, but yeah, obviously at the moment in the championship, they are only 1 point separated from each other in the Constructors' Championship. So, yeah, it is certainly very, very close between these two legendary Formula 1 teams. As here comes Lewis McIntyre then, having a look on the inside. Oh, but he's run very wide. Very, very wide indeed through turn number 1. And that's completely botched his chances of trying a move on Luca Farina. McIntyre seems to be making a few mistakes of his own today as well. So here's Daniel Wala onto Tomas Mandic now. Had a look on the inside line, wasn't quite able to do anything here. Here's the two Hasses going wheel to wheel. Victor Albom having a look on the inside of his teammate Daniel Fraser. But the two Hasses not swapping positions just yet. Schuto, oh, that's a bit wide from Josef Fredrik Schuto as he tries to chase down Eric Adelberg. Is Lamazasnishkai going to do anything here? No, not yet. He isn't able to find an opening. And again, it seems like this driver, or not this driver, like this track, seems to be very, very prone to driver mistakes. I don't know whether that's down to tire wear or temperatures or whatever it may be, but we seem to have a lot of lockups and a lot of accidents here. Well, not a lot, but still, I have seen a few lockups and a few drivers going wide, a bit more than usual. As here's Daniel Wala and Tomas Mandic going at it. Wala around the outside, gets Tomas Mandic for 14th. Good stuff from Daniel Wala. Let's see how the Chinese driver got this one done. And this is into turn 9, it looks like. And Wala, nothing weird yet. And he ran wide there, Mandic. Ran very wide there, in fact. And Wala was able to reel him in there on the inside. And then heading into these next couple of corners, swung it the long way around. And the nail in the coffin was this one. On the outside line, had the traction, had the pace, got that done. Brilliant stuff. from Daniel Waller, even if it is only for 14th. Here's Lamas Asnishkai though. On to Josef Frederick Schuto. Battle for 5th in the championship kicking off now as Asnishkai is going to get Josef Frederick Schuto on the inside line as they go side by side through turn number 1 now. Schuto doesn't quite run wide. He's going to do 2 in 1 though, Lamas Asnishkai, as he's going to try to get Eric Adelberg there on the outside line. Is this too much for the Serbian as they head into turn number 3? Asnishkai there on the inside line. Not too much for Lamas Asnishkai. That's 2 cars in 4 corners from P11 to P9. Miran FG is fighting Josef Frederick Schuto now. The 2 wheel-to-wheel through the hairpin. The Alfa Romeo versus the McLaren, but it is Josef Frederick Schuto who does hold Miran FG at bay. FG not looking too bad this race either. He's certainly enjoying himself around the tricky corners on the sail. But Lamas Asnishkai take a bow. What a move that was. Got Schuto, had the overspeed, went on to Adelberg as well. That was brilliant from Lamas Asnishkai. And now he gets himself ahead of Josef Frederick Schuto by 2 points in the championship. Brilliant stuff from the Serbian. That's how you pull off a double overtake. Here's Miran FG then in 12th. Is he going to line something up on Josef Frederick Schuto here? And at the moment the answer is no. That Super Formula experience really is coming in handy for Miran FG, it seems like. As he is quite a lot on the pace today in that Alfa Romeo. As we go further up the field, oh, here's something very interesting indeed. A battle for 3rd brewing between Dennis Graf and Wojtek Kulasek. We could have the man in the Alpine who could be on for his 2nd podium of the season. As he is looking very close to Dennis Graf. This is very exciting and a very interesting development indeed. As Dennis Graf might start to feel the heat from the man in blue, Wojtek Kulasek. So we head down the start-finish straight. Is it actually going to work for Wojtek Kulasek? As we head down the start-finish straight. Is he going to be close enough to line something up into the first corner? Not yet for Wojtek Kulasek. Here's Lewis McIntyre though, on to Luca Farina. Into turn number 1 they go. McIntyre runs slightly wide. And again, it's Farina who remains ahead due to McIntyre's mistake. What is going on with Lewis McIntyre? The pace is there, but he keeps making all silly errors. Here's Miran FG though. On to Josef Frederick Schuto. The Alfa Romeo versus the McLaren. Is he going to get this one done? Yes, he does. It's Miran FG up into 11th. Brilliant from the Alfa Romeo. What a race he's driving at the moment. And he gets himself a bit closer to the points paying positions, Miran FG. We'll see if he is going to be able to manage that. That would be 3 positions gained. I'm not sure. Can we get the position gains up on the screen, please? We'll just have to see who are the big gainers. And you can see. Oh. Wait for it to switch up. There we are. And you can see then a lot of big gainers on the field. Graf is up 2. Kulasek is up 3. Farina is up 3. McIntyre's up 5. Brilliant stuff from Lewis McIntyre. Tost is up 3. Gamba's up 1. Lamas Asnishkai is up 7. So it's a brilliant race from Lamas Asnishkai at the moment. What a comeback. Eric Adelberg is down 6. FG's up 3. So he's not doing badly at all. Arnold's up 4. Wale is up 6. So both Alfa Romeos, big gainers. And then Album is up 3 and Fraser is up 1. As here's McIntyre then once again is going to try it on Luca Farina. This time though, Farina does hold him off on the outside line. As here's Franco Gamba defending from Fernando Tost. 2 former teammates at McLaren now driving for completely different teams. It's Gamba who holds off Fernando Tost. As here is Alexander Arnold, who could now try and get Josef Fredrik Schuto, and I think Schuto's tires are done for. The pace is not there for Josef Fredrik Schuto, and he could just wind up pointless in this race. That is not going to be good. So he's now got Alexander Arnold, the former Mercedes man, knocking. And these two used to be midfield rivals all the way back in 2017, back when Schuto was still driving for Williams and Alexander Arnold was representing Force India. As we go a bit further up the field, then back to the battle for the last step of the podium. Wojtek Kulasek versus Dennis Graf. What a battle, I have to say. Wojtek Kulasek of all people. Now rounds the final corner. Let's see if he's going to be able to get close enough this time, as he's going to have the DRS to his aid, along with the slipstream packaged in as well. Heading into turn 1 though, Kulasek isn't able to do anything just yet. As we now look at Miran Evci, who could be in contention for the points now, as Adelberg is trying to keep up with Lama Zasnishkai. He's got the DRS from Zasnishkai, so that's going to at least be able. That's at least gonna. I'm stumbling over my words here, but he's gonna be able to hold FG at bay by at least having DRS. Here's Alexander Arnold, who gets past Josef Fredrik Schuto. Brilliant from Alexander Arnold, and the German goes up into 12th with 10 laps to go, and now he could maybe be reeled in to this battle 4 points. So this is gonna get very interesting indeed. You got Lama Zasnishkai, Erik Adelberg, and Miran Evci. So gonna see who is gonna be able to get this one done. They round the final couple of corners now. Wojtek Kulasek chasing down Dennis Graf, looking a bit closer than what he was on the last lap, but he's just gonna have to hope to not lose that all in this final corner. I think he did lose a bit on the exit. He lost a pretty big chunk of time on the exit, about 1/10 of a second, I reckon. So I think that is where Dennis Graf does get the advantage over Wojtek Kulasek, and if he just does keep this up, Wojtek's tires will fall off eventually, so that I think that is what Dennis is hoping for. As here's Erik Adelberg. Could he be in for a bit of revenge against Lama Zasnishkai? Yes, he is. He's going to be there on the inside, as the two are going to go side by side now, as they will still keep it wheel to wheel. It's Zasnishkai still on the inside line, and Adelberg doesn't get it done. That is a bit of a shock. Great defense from Lama Zasnishkai. I thought Adelberg would actually get that move done, because usually whenever we see a move on the inside line of turn number 1, it's always done into the first corner, and if not, it's done into turn 2. But no, Adelberg was not quite able to do that, and well, yeah, he isn't able to pass the Serbian just yet, and that's only brought Miran Evci closer to this little fight. So we'll see what's going to happen there. You go a bit further up the field. Wojtek Kulasek again will just hope to not lose all this pace in the final corner. You can see he does lose quite a bit of pace, but it still is just what was I going to say? What was I going to say? He does lose a bit of pace, but he was a bit closer that time, so maybe things might be on the up for Wojtek Kulasek. We'll just have to wait and see. But it is Sector 3 where it seems Dennis Graf has the upper edge on Wojtek Kulasek, so to say. As here is Daniel Wale, who's now going to get past Josef Fredrik Schuto, and Schuto is dropping like a stone. This is not much very like Josef Fredrik Schuto. This is not usually the drive we see from him, but I think his tires are absolutely finished. So yeah, Shuto pace just isn't there. He seems to have dropped off completely. As we go further up the field, Lewis McIntyre is still trying to get this P5 away from Luca Farina. Farina's defended like a lion. Both Ferraris have been really solid in defense today, I have to say. And Farina is what was I about to say? Trying to it's gonna try and make it stick on the inside line here now again, and runs wide just like he did on that previous attempt, and it just isn't working for Lewis McIntyre. Is there something wrong with his brakes? Is there something wrong with the car? We don't know what it is, but McIntyre, I don't know. It's just like it's like he's allergic to getting past Luca Farina. As Miran FG had a bit of a look on Eric Alderberg now. Labos Asnishka seems to be pulling away, and FG will certainly be hoping that Alberg drops. I'm sorry, I'm experiencing hiccups while commentary. And FG will certainly be hoping for Alderberg to drop out of the 1 second range come the DRS zone, because then he'll probably be able to get this P10 much easier, but might just be a bit of a wild card in this battle, namely Alexander Arnold in 12th. The German could throw his hat into the ring in this little battle, so we'll see how that is gonna play out. As we now head through the penultimate corner and into the final one, and yes, Eric Alderberg is out of a second, so FG will be trying to utilize the DRS to get past Eric Alderberg. And here he comes then to the inside line. Will he be able to get himself into the points for the first time this season? Miran FG as the two go wheel to wheel. Alderberg on the outside line runs wide, and it is Miran FG up into 10th. Take a bow, Miran FG. What a drive from the man in the Alfa Romeo so far, as Alderberg might be at risk of losing another position to another veteran in a midfield car, Alexander Arnold, who slots up into 11th. Terribly sorry about the hiccups, but it is Alexander Arnold going up into P11. Good stuff from Arnold as well. And he's now going to try and chase down Miran FG for 10th. We go back to Lewis McIntyre. Let's see if he's going to line up this one. Will it finally be the perfect move that he needs heading into turn number 1? And they will be side by side. In fact, I think this might be it for Lewis McIntyre. And it is finally for Lewis McIntyre. His dedication and his patience pays off. And finally Lewis McIntyre gets up into P5 after all those laps, after all those mistakes, trying to get Luca Farina, the Brit, is up into P5. And yeah, McIntyre, I think, will finally be a bit happy about that, as he now has cleared the Ferrari. McIntyre will be now obviously up into P5. There's going to be more points for him and for McLaren, and that obviously means less points for Ferrari as well. So yeah, they will be pretty happy about that. Live championship update then. In the constructors and the drivers, it is Emmet Parachki. If he does still hold on to his fastest lap in these last 4 laps of the race, he will lead the championship again by 1 point from Alfred Klaus. And then in the constructors, Mercedes, as a result of Parachki's win, will hold themselves ahead of Red Bull in the constructors championship by 2 points heading into Saudi Arabia. So it is gonna get absolutely spicy heading into Saudi Arabia, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna go a bit further up the field. Miran Evci, who caught up to Eric Alba, went up in the 10th, has now caught up to Labazas Nishkai, the man who replaced him at Ferrari. Wouldn't say replaced, but maybe his successor at Ferrari. Now are gonna go toe to toe potentially, as FG could be lining up a move on the man in the Ferrari, who seems to be struggling with pace to try and catch up to Fernando Tost. We'll see then what Miran FG could do here. And FG, then it could be more points on the table for him as well here at Qatar. Obviously, it would be his first points of the season as well, and what a way to bounce back as well after his 2 consecutive DNFs at Mexico City and Interlagos. Certainly be great to enjoy some points as well. So they now head through turn 2 and 3. FG close on the back as Nishkai, but isn't able to try any moves just yet. Here is Daniel Waller now, who could be the next man to get past Eric Adelberg, and what a shame for Adelberg as well. It would have been so good. It could have been so good for him today, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be for the Swiss man today here at Qatar. Now we could have, what was I gonna say? Now we could have Daniel Waller try and get past Eric Adelberg. There's Daniel Waller. We just looked at Daniel Waller. We're now going to take a look at Fernando Tost, who's going to go into Franco Gamba. Again, these two will fight for 7th in this race, as Tost will go around the outside line to turn number 2. Is he going to get that one done? Gamba still going to try and keep it wheel to wheel with his former teammate as they head down into turn number 4. It's Tost on the inside line, who's just going to inch ahead into the corner. Gamba's there on the outside line. Will he be able to defend from the Polish driver, as they are side by side now heading into the hairpin? It's Gamba on the inside line. Tost going to try to go the long way around, but they are still wheel to wheel. Great racing between the two. Tost now, is he able to get this down on the inside line, or will it be Gamba defending? Gamba runs wide, and as a result, Fernando Tost goes through up at the 7th. What a battle between the two, and it is Fernando Tost who fights his way through Franco Gamba to get himself up at the 7th. Very good stuff from Fernando Tost. And we'll see if Franco Gamba will be able to do anything there behind them. Throughout lap 31 out of 32. 2 laps to go for the Qatar Grand Prix. Fernando Tosto now gets himself up into P7. Will just have to hold on for 2 more laps. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do that, because Franco Gamba as well is not too far off the Polish man. Going a bit further down the field, Josef Frederic Schuto, who could try and overtake Eric Adelberg. We'll see if he's going to be able to do that. Go a bit further up the field. This battle for P3 might just kick off again in these last 2 laps. Fight for third, and you can see Alfred Klaus is just there in the distance, but I think it is a bit too late for these 2 to catch up to Alfred Klaus, even though that might have been what Enis Paratsky would have been hoping for, as Wojtek Kulasek is going to try and get Dennis Groff for third, and Paratsky will certainly be hoping Groff gets dropped out of the podium, because that's going to mean more points for Mercedes and less for Red Bull. Well, not more points for Mercedes, but it's less points for Red Bull. That's what I'm trying to say. As we're now going to start the final lap of this Qatar Grand Prix. It's now or never for most of these guys. Wojtek Kulasek, though, is going to close in into turn number 1. And I don't think he's close enough. I don't think Wojtek Kulasek is close enough to try anything here. Are we going to have any last lap battles? Looking at Miran FG versus Lamas Nishkai. Will FG settle for 10th, or will he try and get up into 9th? So we head into turn number 1. He's looking close. Into the first corner we go. And Zasnishkai and FG, nothing happening there really. So I think it is going to be Miran FG who stays in 10th, with Lama Zasnishkai in 9th. But we'll just have to wait and see. There's just going to have to bring it home. Don't think it's going to be anything there. But this man then, again, an absolute world beater of a drive. He has pulled out today. It is going to be win number 5 for him this season to retake the championship lead. He rises from the ashes like a phoenix again. Enis Paratsky will cross the line to win the Qatar Grand Prix. What a drive from Enis Paratsky. Once again, he keeps that championship hunt alive and retakes the lead of the championship. Alfred Klaus comes home second. 1 point now separating him and Enis Paratsky heading into the penultimate round at Jeddah. Wojtek Kulasek can't quite get points, can't quite get the podium. Bit of a tongue twister there. He finishes P4. Franco Gamba comes up for more points, and Miran FG in the Alfa Romeo will come home for P10, his first points of the season here at Qatar. Very, very hard-earned points for him as well. Just waiting for the rest across the line. And there it is. So it is Enis Paratsky. It's the pole, it's the win, and it is the fastest lap for Enis Paratsky. Proper dominance. 18.4 seconds clear of Alfred Klaus in second, as Dennis Groff rounding off the podium, with Wojtek Kulasek finishing 4th, Lewis McIntyre finishing 5th. Started in 11th today, so very well done from him. Luca Farina is in P6 with Fernando Tost in 7th. Franco Gamba is in 8th, Lamas Zasnishka in 9th, and then Miran FG in 10th. Alexander Arnold finishes in P11 with Daniel Wall in P12. Eric Adelberg and Josef Fredrik Schuta, disappointing result for the pair, and they finished 13th and 14th, with Thomas Mandic in 15th. Victor Abo finishes 16th, and the last finisher is Daniel Fraser in the Haas, and then the 3 DNFers are Alex Broster, Will Parrish, and Jesper Johansson. Right, that's been it then for the Qatar Grand Prix. Thanks so much for watching, but before we go, it's time to award Driver of the Day. And personally, I am going to give it to Lewis McIntyre. I think it was a very good drive from him today, from 11th on the grid. Didn't look to be much for McLaren, but he made some pretty decent overtakes today. Obviously, didn't give up, and yeah, pushed on to secure a pretty good P5 today. So yeah, I would honorable mention Miran FG. I wouldn't want to give it to my own driver. I feel like that's a bit egotistical, but yeah, I think McIntyre did a very, very good job today, and he gets my driver of the day. That's been it then for Formula One. Thanks so much for watching. It's been a very exciting race at Lusail. Next round is another new venue. We'll be heading to the Jeddah Corniche circuit in Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So make sure to not miss that. That's going to be very, very exciting indeed. We'll also see if we'll have Super Formula on as well. Either way, I have been Miran. And this has been the Formula One Qatar Grand Prix. Make sure to join us for the next round of Formula One, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Thank you and goodbye.